place.
Yeah, thank you so much, Fred. And thank you also for hosting me this morning, despite the hiccups that we faced on the way. Of course, at the Junction Mall, there is a block for nobody to get to town. And as I drove all the way to DCI, I realized there is another blockage, that I could not get to the studio in good time. And there were people also being blocked from going to town. So I had to do the roundabout way of going to the UN and back to this place. And I thank God we have been able to make it and share some of our frustrations with Kenyans. Indeed, I was a sitting member of parliament at that particular time for the same constituency that I served for about 2 decades. And it was a very interesting moment because there was basic issue of multi-party democracy and all other issues carried with it, including the need to amend the constitution, what they were calling Section 2A, where it was declaring that KANU is the only party that is allowed by law to exist in Kenya. And at that time, if you were expelled from KANU, you lost your seat. I remember the late John Kipsang Koech, as I was coming in, he was expelled, and he was a minister at that particular time. And by the time he wanted to go to the chamber, he was already a former member and also a former minister. So it used to happen like that, and your fate is totally sealed. That's why people had to clamor for need to have alternative opinion in terms of political parties. This therefore tells you that KANU is the one that created multipartyism. Perhaps if KANU had all the democratic institutions within itself, perhaps the delay for multipartyism would have taken a bit of time. But of course, it was also informed by the world order, where the Berlin Wall was brought down in 1989, and therefore the Western world, which has of course been controlling our pace of democracy, our pace of development, now put more pressure on the direction of increasing democratic space. Because initially, some countries were either pro-East or pro-West. And of course, Mwalimu Nyerere and others tried the aligned movement, where even India was part of it, and several other countries. But it never took off properly. So when the Berlin Wall was brought down, so now the focus was on issues of democracy and issues of governance, and that also gave impetus to those who had Saba Saba 1 35 years ago.
All right. Are you able to draw any parallels with what's happening right now? Because most of